Good morning, Year 8. We are continuing to look at algebra today. I was planning on just doing 1 week on algebra, but it's been going so well, I thought we'd go one more lesson, maybe two, on algebra, and then we'll leave it and move on to something else. What we're going to do today is, I'm not going to lie, tricky. But I think you'll be able to cope with it as long as you've understood how to factorise a quadratic, which is what you were doing in the last couple of lessons. Understand the box method and know how to put it into a double bracket. If you don't know how to do that, then there's no point in even trying today's lesson. You'd be better off to go back and have another look at that. Okay, but leave me messages to let me know where you are with this. And as usual, you can turn your work in at the end. So what I've done for today is I have attached this sheet for you to try. Not all of it. You only got to spend an hour as usual. And I'm actually going to do all of the ones down the left in this video. Okay, so I'm going to go quite fast. I'm going to try to do all of those in the video and leave you these ones to try for yourself. The idea behind that is the ones on this column sort of match quite well with the ones on this column for corresponding questions. So you can always look at mine to help you do the one on the right. So what's this all about then? Well, it's about solving equations when there is an x squared term somewhere in the equation. You may not see the x squared term because it's already been put into brackets, or you need to multiply out a bracket here to see the x squared term. But if you see x squared terms anywhere, then you need to know how to solve quadratic equations by factorising. So how do we go about doing this? Well, I'm going to take you back to last lesson first of all and just give you an example just to show you what I'm on about. So if I'd said to you, factorise x squared plus 7x plus 12, if you knew what you were doing, I'm not going to explain it again now, you would eventually get the answer x plus 3, x plus 4 like that. Okay, and that's it. That's all there was really to it. That's the one that you could do without the box method. Two numbers that multiply to make 12 and add to make 7. There we go. Now, that is not an equation. It doesn't have an answer. You can put any value of x you like into that and you just get an answer. If I put 10 in there, for example, I get 182. Alright, I'm going to check you understand that. If you put 10 in there, you get 182. That's an example. But I could put a different number in if I want. So there's no actual answer to that. However, if I tell you that this has to be equal to 0, then there is an answer. Okay, well, in fact, there are two answers. And it's very important you understand how you can find what those two answers are. And to find what the two answers are, the first step is to do that, which you know how to do, hopefully. And the second step is to look at the two brackets, and I can tell immediately what the answers are from looking at the brackets. And it's very, very simple. All I have to do is to look at the two numbers in the brackets, change the sign of the numbers, and those are my answers. So my two answers are minus 3, or it could be minus 4. Okay, and those are the two values, the only two values that I could put in there to make that side equal to 0. Just to prove it to you, I'll do it with the minus 3 now. So if I put minus 3 in there, I get minus 3 squared, which is minus 3 times minus 3, which is 9. Okay, so that's 9. That term's worth 9. This term here would be 7 times minus 3, and 7 times minus 3 would be minus 21. So I've got 9 for the first term, minus 21 for the second term, and then I've got plus 12 for the third term, if I put minus 3 in there and there. That's what I get. And if you just work that out now, you will see that that does indeed equal 0. So minus 3 was the correct answer for that. Okay, and I'm not going to check it now, but minus 4 would have worked as well. And I can tell you now, no other value of x would have worked. Those are the only two answers. So the way we solve an equation with an x squared is we put the brackets in by factorising, which you know how to do, and then we can just read the answer straight off. And it's as simple as that. It even works when you don't really need two brackets. Okay, this would happen if you had something like, for example, x squared minus 9x equals 0 or something like that. Now with that one there, you don't need to factorize into a double bracket. You can factorize into a single bracket because there's a common factor of x here. So my next line would be x minus 9 equals 0, like that. Okay, now all you need to do is to look at the bracket and extract an answer straight away, which remember is to look at the number and change the sign. So instead of being minus 9, I get x equals 9. And then the second answer is what I could make this value of x here in order for all of this to be equal to 0, and that would be 0. If I make x 0, then the left-hand side would all be equal to 0, because 0 times anything is 0. So when you just get one with a single bracket and an x in front, one of the solutions will just be x equals 0. Okay. Now the third type is one where you would have had to have factorized into a double bracket using the box method, but this time you get numbers in front of the x like that. So I won't go over how to do that now, but the box method would leave you with answers that look like that. And again, that would be equal to 0 on the right hand side to turn it into an equation. And once again, you can just read the answers off. Just like this one here. Okay, you look at this number here and change the sign. Okay, you look at this number here and you change the sign. But then the extra step is your answer will be that divided by the number here and that divided by the number here. So those are the two numbers, two values of x that would work for that. And that there would have been a bit before that where you had a question to get it into that form. I have summarized those three results that I've just talked about at the top of the sheet. So you can see them there for yourself. Read that. It should, if you read that and watch my video to see that, you will see that that corresponds to those three different cases there. And if you understand that, you can do all these questions. Right, so I'm going to go reasonably quickly now through all the ones on the left-hand side. Listen, if my video gets too long, I'll just stop. Okay, get as far as I can, but I'll keep going until the video say 20 minutes long, and then I will stop. Okay, so here we go. Question 1: x squared minus 25 equals 0. Okay, so I'm going to put it into a double bracket. Two numbers that multiply to make minus 25 and add to make nothing, because there's nothing in the middle. Okay, there's no x's. So two numbers that multiply to make minus 25 would be 5 and minus 5, because when you add those together you get nothing. So 0x in the middle. So x plus 5, x minus 5 equals 0. Therefore the solution is x equals minus 5 or x equals 5. On to number 3. So number 3. You can always pause this video if I'm going too fast and just have a look for yourself and make sure you understand the steps. 2x squared minus 72 equals 0. Now with this one here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by 2. Because I'm going to do it to both sides, to all things on both sides, then that is fine. And that will give me x squared minus 36 equals 0. Now I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to make minus 36 and add to make nothing, because there's no x in the middle. So a bit like the last one, except this time it's going to be minus 6 and 6. Okay, so that leaves me with x plus 6, x minus 6 equals 0. Therefore x equals minus 6 or x equals 6. Remember, pause the video if I'm going too fast. Can't do that in the class, but you can today. Question 5. Oh, 9 minutes 42 so far. X, oh, this is an easy one. This one will take no time at all. I'm literally going to write the answer. Okay, this is the first thing I showed you in my examples earlier. You just change the sign and you've got the answers. How easy was that one? Similarly, the next one's really easy as well, because it's just the case where you have numbers in front of the x's. So this was the third example I showed you. And to get the answers, you literally change the sign of that, change the sign of that, and then you divide by the number in front of the x. Boom, done. So those are the two answers for that one. How bad is it, this? Next one, 4x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, so this is the second case I showed you, where you just have one bracket and then an x in front. The first answer is just 0. Okay, you can make x equal to 0 and that will work. The second comes from the bracket, and it's to change the sign there and divide by the other number. Those are the two answers for that one. Question 11. Okay, so for this one, this is the one where we put it into a single bracket. So it's got an x that can come out front, just the x, and that would leave a 2x there and a 3 there, like that. And then, just like the last one, I can see the answer straight away. X equals 0 or x equals minus 3 divided by 2. Ooh, new piece of paper. I'll just turn over. I'm doing quite well here. We've been going for 11 minutes and 36 seconds and I'm already up to question 13. So 13 then. 4x squared minus x equals 0. Okay, so this one here, just take an x out, like so, just like the last couple we've been doing. Bingo! Question 15. Oh, good. The first one where I've actually got to do the box method. I've got all the way to question 15 and I haven't needed the box method, but I need it now. Remember, you times these two numbers together. This is from last lesson. 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. You're then looking for two numbers that multiply to make minus 6 and add to make minus 1. Well, that would be minus 3 and 2. Remember, pause the video if I'm going too fast and just check you understand. That would add to make minus 1. I then do the box method. So I draw a box like so. And into the box goes this number here in the top left box, this number here in the bottom right box, and then these two numbers go in these two boxes here. It doesn't matter which way round. I'm going to do them that way round. You then look at this and you try and find what goes here. The number that can come out, or letter that can come out here, it's just an X. And when you've done that, you should be able to fill in around the edge reasonably quickly all the other things that you need. So I would need a 1 there, wouldn't I? There we go. And then you can write the two brackets, which are that and that. Doesn't matter which way round. Like so. And then I can just write the answers. So this one would be 3 divided by 2. And this one would be minus 1. There we go. Question 17. Okay, oh, this is easier than the last one because it's just a single bracket. It's a single bracket. It's one that doesn't need the box method. Two numbers that multiply to make minus 10 and add to make minus 3. When you get good at these, you'll get these really, really quickly. Okay, you'll just flip into your mind, but it takes a bit of practice. It's minus 5 and 2. So x minus 5, x plus 2, leading to x equals 5. Or x equals minus 2. I'm doing really well. I've only been going 14 minutes. Question 19. 8x squared equals 2x plus 15. Right. That doesn't look like all the ones we've done so far. Let me just show you how it's different. Here's all the ones I've done so far, and all of them said equals 0. And this one doesn't. That's a problem. This method does not work unless it says equals 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this say equals 0 by doing things to both sides of the equation. So let's start by taking away 2x from both sides of the equation. That will give me x squared minus 2x equals 15. And I'm nearly there. I'll now just take away 15 from both sides of the equation. And that will leave me with x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. And I now have it looking like all the other ones in the questions so far. So this is box method because I've got a number here. So 8 times minus 15 is the first thing I need to do. Well, 8 lots of 15 is 120. So that means I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to make minus 120 and add to make minus 2. Oh my goodness, that sounds quite hard. I'm going to have to write out the factors of 120 to see which one it is. So 2 and 60, 3 and 40, 4 and 30, 5, it's none of these, 5, oh god, I'm being thick, I know what it is, I know, I've just spotted it, 5 and, oh god, what's the 5 one, 24, but I've started now, I might as well do them all, 6 and 20, 8 and 15, but I think the one we want is the next one, it's 10 and 12. Okay, 10 and 12 are the ones I want, and I want a minus 12 and a 10 like that. Okay, let's get the box. I've already decided I'm not doing 21. I might show you later, but I think this will do for now. We'll cut our losses. Okay, so I'm guessing you're not doing 22 either until I show you how to do 21. But I'll let you request it. If you want help with 22 and want me to do 21, if anybody sends me a message saying they want that help, I'll do it for them. But for now, I think this is enough. So let's have a look. So we've got 8x squared there, minus 15 there, minus 12x there, and 10x there. Two numbers, the number that can come out here would be 4, because 4 goes into 8 and 12, and also the x comes out. That means that that must be 2x. That means that must be 5, which means that that there must be minus 3, like that. Okay, so that leads to 2x minus 3. Ooh, 4x plus 5 equals 0, leading to x equals 3 over 2, or x equals minus 5 over 4. Boom, done. I'm not doing 21. It's too hard. Well, it's not too hard for me, but it'd be too hard for you at the moment. So your job is to try and do questions 2 to 20 from the right hand side by following this. I will publish the answers later today. Good luck, everybody.